Steve Tyler was working his dream job, a Chicago cop, keeping drugs off the street, arresting dangerous criminals. In October of 1994, he nearly lost his life doing what he loved.
I got hit just below my vest, and it went through my colon, my liver, my diaphragm, my lung, and it ricocheted out and it hit the floor. And that was the bullet that I thought that would be it.
He had been shot 3 times in the line of duty, trying to make an arrest. Steve would have to fight to live.
I was angry and upset that this had happened to me. I had to push that aside. And I really just concentrated on my breathing. I was like, one more breath in, just one more breath in, one more breath out. And what had happened is my lungs were actually filling up with blood.
Steve Tyler had fought to survive many years before. Right after he was born, his mother left him forever. His father was an alcoholic who stole the money little Steve made on a paper route.
Paid for his beer and his cigarettes. I wore hand-me-down clothes from the thrift store.
His stepmother was unloving, and when his dad wasn't stealing his money, he ignored him.
From him, it was, I don't want to see you, I don't want to hear you. I was confined to my bedroom. I ate my meals in the bedroom. I was not allowed to sit at the kitchen table. I wasn't allowed to go outside to be with any of the other kids.
Eventually, Steve was in and out of foster homes. He even slept in a friend's backyard. Finally, the teenager walked from Chicago's South Side, several miles, to the Mercy Home for Boys and Girls.
It made me feel like I belonged finally to be a part of something, and I think that was a defining moment that changed a lot of things for me.
Mercy Home, as Steve said himself, was the place in which he found his life. What a beautiful thing to say.
Like all of Mercy's children, Steve received the therapy he needed to confront the pain of his childhood. But just as important, like all of our children in the last 123 years, he knew he was safe and that he was loved.
At Mercy, we take care of that at their front door. This is where you're going to sleep, and this is your room. This is your private place. This is when you're going to eat. This is where you can shower. Here's clothes for you.
They come to us, we wrap our arms around them, we make a home for them.
Steve Tyler joined the Army, went to college, and became a Chicago police officer. Then, on that terrible October day, another chapter of his life began with gunshot wounds to the face, the arm, the back.
What I really wanted at that time was to see my wife, and my son was 14 months old. And it's the only wish that I had, beside wanting to live at that point, was to tell him goodbye and that I loved him.
He would spend nearly a year in painful recovery.
And I was at the point where if you had to cut off my arms, my legs, whatever you had to do to me, I wanted to live.
He did much more than live. He started a police survivors group, helping other cops who had been injured in the line of duty.
He took the difficult moments of his life, and he had many of them, and rather than turning into darkness and fear and bitterness and resentment, his heart became generous, reaching out and helping others.
Steve is certain that because of the power of therapy and love he received at Mercy Home, he was able to bring wounded police officers together.
It's not so lonely. There's somebody else that understands what you're going through.
Today, Steve Tyler is a devoted husband and father, still on the job, now as a detective. He is grateful to those of you who support the Mercy Home for Boys and Girls. He knows generosity has a ripple effect throughout an entire community.
I remember laying in bed here at the boys' home with a roof over my head and not having to worry about the next meal. And I would sincerely think about the people who made that possible.
Without the generosity and the goodness of our donors, this ministry, this work of God simply could not take place. I'm very, very grateful to them.